Let me run this npm first of all. And the last class which we discussed is about and if you can see this on the screen, and screen is sharing, here it is. And last class we discussed about date function. It is the date function, which is the inbuilt function of JavaScript actually. And in last class we discussed about how to declare a variable and how to call it here into the React, and that is especially JSX. So that is also we discussed last class, and this was our topic it is. And we discussed about taking the principal amount, calculating all that things, and that was very interesting topics last class, right? Expressions, we have seen that expressions can be done with the help of curly braces, like you can declare a variable and you can call it here. So now it's a time to go ahead for some other thing related to the date cities. And we have something called in JavaScript, if we can see, we have something called get methods. Okay, so methods require support of an object, and date is a function which does not require anything. So get methods, we are going to use it. So we have something called, and get date is there. So get hours is there, hours, get minutes, get seconds, right? So get date, we have seen that, month, get full year, right? And get day. So these are all part of our methods it is. And as I said last class, methods require support of an object. This cannot be used directly. Like date we were using directly, and this is a one object, as you people said that on that day. Some people replied that. So now we are going to use this methods also here. And in the meantime, I'm just waiting for this to server to start, development server, and it is getting started. It's almost done. So right, today's date, it is showing everything here. That's what our last class. Now we are going to use these methods. Now let us use this. So instead of this date, I'm going to create a one object here. So we can say constant d equals to new date. Right, this will be our object here, and we are using a keyword called new. And I want to get hours, minutes, and seconds. I want to get hours, minutes, and seconds. This part I want it. So if you want to get hours, it is going to show the hours. That is if it is 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock or like that, it is going to show that. Minutes also, if you want to get it, you can use get minutes. And similar way we have get seconds. So for that, I need to create one variable it is, and a constant, I'll say hours h equals to, and there is a one object we defined it, that is new date, which I stored it in d. So I'll call that d dot get hours. I'm going to get this hours, right? And constant minutes, d dot get minutes, right? And constant seconds equals to d dot get seconds, right? So hours, minutes, and seconds it is. I want to display. So time is, I want to display here. Now this is one, right? That is hours. Can I use all together? M. Can I use it like this? Is it the right way? In fact, it is showing the red mark here. That is not the correct way. Here, H, I'm calling it. So I'll say here and colon, and I'll call it here again minutes, colon it is, and seconds. hours, minutes, and seconds it is. So save this. It is compiling. For compiling in my system, it is taking some time. Right. So let me refresh it. So time is 19 hours, 18 minutes, 43 seconds when I executed that. If I refresh it, the seconds will be changing, it is right. If I refresh it again, the seconds will be changing and even minutes also will be changing, it is right. So now if I refresh it again, it is see 19, 2 seconds it is. So this is how we are able to get the time it is. Now similar way, if I want to get the month, date, month, year. So what should I do here? Constant. So date dt, I'll write it equals to dt dot d dot get date. Is it right? It is going to get the date. And I can write constant month empty d dot get month it is. Okay. And constant year yr equals to d dot get full year, right? And it is a method. As I said, methods require support of an object. Now that is done, and I'm going to call that in h3, that is the next one, and I'll call here dt, that is date, forward slash, and this one empty, it is month, and it is year it is, right? So save this. So 7th date, that's right. 9th month and 2022. 2022 is the year, 7th is the date, month is 9th month, that means September. But is it September? No, it is October. October means this should be 10. Okay. So, but it is showing 9 here because that get month will start from the 0 actually. So that's why what we'll do here, it is here plus 1, you can use it. Okay. So this is how we can use this methods, date methods it is. Now, when I run this, I will get a perfect date and time it is. Right. So now everything is fine. Just we are extending that previous programs with methods and using in React in different ways, right? How to use if-else conditions, okay, in our ReactJS. So right, we will see that how to use this if-else conditions, usage of the if-else conditions. So usage of the if-else conditions it is. First of all, we should know the syntax of the if-else condition in JavaScript. How can you write the if-else condition in JavaScript? How to use? So we'll use if, and we have to write a condition. We have to write a condition and curly braces, and so we have to write some statement and else, and we'll be using a statement here it is. Right? So this is what we are going to use it. So now what we'll do is we'll write a one simple program where I want to check that marks it is. Say I want to enter some marks, or I want to define some marks, and I want to display whether it is failed or pass. Okay. So here I'll remove everything from here. I'm removing everything from here. So now it is a purely a React one it is. Now what I'm going to do here is I want to define one marks here. Say I'm just writing marks equals to say 70, right? Now my condition here it is, if marks, that means if the marks are less than 40, it has to display failed. And if it is above 40, less than or equals to, even less than or equals to. And if it is above 70, it has to display 40 it is. It is passed. This is what I want to display. Now tell me, by using if-else conditions, how to write a code. What should I write in this?
If marks in the bracket marks less than or equal to 40,
okay,
we have to print or return as fail, sir.
Okay, so I'll display directly alert. I'm not using written field here. It's directly I'll write it. So you want to display fail.
Else we can make it fast.
Is it right? So now here the difference is when you write JavaScript, and here it is. So in JavaScript, we'll write it like this, and it will work it. There is no issue. But here it's not like that. It's not going to work it. So is it going to work anything? For example, if I run it here, it is going to give some suggestions. Okay, are we calling that here? Are we calling the marks? Yeah, it is working here. It is. So result, I need to call it here actually. Alert it is showing because it is showing. But what it is showing here, can you see? Fast, okay. Let me try it here. Let me try it 30. Fail it is. In fact, it is working here. But the, method here it is. We need to do like this. That is expression. We have to write it. Say, what is the variable there? What is the result? Yeah, it is alert directly we are using it, right? Yeah, directly we are using the alert here. That's why it is working. So no need of storing. For example, I want to call it in a variable, then we have to use the variable there. Right now you don't require any calling it is, right? In fact, it is working. Means here this program is basically for way to write a if-else condition. So if I am not explaining this one, what happens? People may write the code somewhere here. Is it right? So if-else conditions writing here is not allowed. Let us see whether it is working or not. So many error messages. What it is saying that unexpected token, marks less than, fail, everything it is. So it is giving so many errors, right? So to avoid this problem, okay, so our JavaScript, where is our JavaScript we are writing it? We are writing above the React DOM render it is. Is it clear? We are writing it above this one. So remember that UN variables declaration, functions, if-else conditions, and many more things will be there above this render. And we are calling it here. In fact, in this case, we are not calling it here. Okay. Now, I want to take this input value. This is, we know the result actually. See, this is 30 means it is less than 40. We know that. But I want to take the input value from the user. How can I take it from the input value from the user? Is there any method other than the input box? Is there any method in JavaScript?
Prompt, sir.
So we can use prompt, right? So I'm going to use the prompt. I can say enter marks. It will be dynamic totally. Enter marks here. So marks they are entering. We may not know what they are going to enter. So based on that, result has to be displayed. So first it will display the prompt. So even prompt also I'm typing it outside of this render. Compiled. Now first we are going to get it prompt. Like enter some marks here. I'm entering 33. And 33 is less than 40, definitely it has to display failed. Yes. And so if I type it is some other thing it is, then it will be passed. Is it right? That's good. So this is how if-else conditions can be used in our React. And we will be using many if-else conditions in future also. Okay, guys. Now let us go for this. Check your program first of all. Now next example, we will see here date. We will go back to the date, okay, and we will write it in different way. This if else conditions, right? Now I want to take this based on this time. Based on the time, it has to display good morning. That we will see that later. But I want to explain that one more method here. It is, and there's one more method I need to add it here to local time string. To local e time string it is. To local e time string and to local e date string it is. To local time string and to local date string it is. So this is going to display that date, that is time, that is in the form of hours, minutes and seconds, and this is going to show that date or time and date, month and year. So you can start say here also we are seeing this, but here we are seeing it individually. That means we are getting the hours separately, minutes separately, seconds separately. Here we are seeing that month separately, year separately, like that. But here we are going to get together this. Time is going to display together this, and date is going to show that. So first we'll see that. So for that one also we required a object. So d equals to, and I'll say here it is new date, right? And a constant, and time I'll write it equals to d dot to local and local time string it is. Time string it is, right? And next one is I want to create a constant date in lowercase I'm writing it, so there's no conflict here. To local date string, right? Local time string as well as to local date string it is, right? I want to call this with expression. One is time. If you want to display in H3, you can display it in H3. And similar way I'm going to write it H3 it is, and expression it is. So save this. So 7:42 PM it is, and you can see 10th month, 7th date 2022. Here no need of adding +1 or 2 anything, and it is showing that in a 12 hours format also, and AM or PM also it is showing it. And can anybody tell me from where this date is coming? Is it coming from the server or is it coming from the client? Client, sir. It is client only, because ReactJS is nothing but JavaScript. JavaScript is client-side program, not a server-side program. Client means right now I'm using my computer, I'm executing the program in my computer. It is taking this my system time it is. If I sit it in US and if my time is different, my laptop is time is different, then it will display different time it is. So it is a client time it is. Okay. So this is one more method, and which is a part of the date. Please note down this. Now last time we have seen that marks example, right? Now what I want to do is, that was displaying alert without the JSX interface. Okay, let us try that one. I want to display in my document, like that means I want to display somewhere here. See, it was showing in an alert message, right? So is there any idea for you all? What I'm asking here it is, say marks we defined it equals to prompt. I don't have that program here, so enter marks here is what we have seen. Okay, now whatever result I'm getting it should display in this H3, not in alert box. The result I want to display here it is, whether passed or failed. How can I do that? See, my example it is, see if marks less than or equals to 40, I was doing something called alert message, right? alert. I don't want this alert. In fact, I'll write alert here. So fail, it's a matter of 2 minutes, just 1 minute to write this program for me. Right, alert. This is what, okay. Now it is directly executing it. No, we are not calling this one, and it is working perfectly there. So my intention is, instead of showing, so let me show you 22 it is. Instead of showing this fail here, I want to display that fail here. Failed or fast. Failed or fast, I want to show it there. How can I do that? Any idea?
Sir, we can create an element, sir.
Get element by ID.
Yeah, sir. Like we can create an element, H1 tag we can create, and in that we can pass that value, failed or passed.
So you mean to say ID equals to, say something, I want to write it here. Okay.
Yes.
So txt, let me write it, and you want me to say here, instead of alert here, document dot get element by ID.
Yes, sir.
Wherever that ID is available, that ID is txt.
Set
right?
pass.
ID what? Dot inner HTML. But is it not? It's not HTML, right? It's not HTML,
yes,
right? But it's not HTML. Inner text. Okay. Shall I use inner text? But it's not a text also. It is an element, right? So here that question comes here. So those who are really familiar with the JavaScript, many people will say that. But anyway, we'll write HTML equals to what you want to say? Failed. Right? So otherwise, you want to display this one. This is what we write it in JavaScript. So that's why I'm showing the difference it is. Let us see how it is going to work. Okay, this is what we are doing it. Now let us save this. One warning it is showing. It is asking the marks. Okay, 22. Displaying? No. If I write it 44, is it displaying? No. So, because inner HTML, when I say here it is not HTML first of all, is it right? And in fact, if you can see this inspect, the main intention of explaining this one is like this. See, type error cannot set properties for null inner HTML. See, setting inner HTML. Uncaught it is type error. Inner HTML is not identifying it is right. It is not saying that get element by ID. It is saying that inner HTML it is. So is there any other method? Yes. What you do is here you define one variable it is okay, constant result equals to empty data it is. Can we write it like this? It is empty. Now here I can write it, result is failed. I can write here result is passed, but that has to be called here, right? Here I want to call that expression result. So what do you expect? Is it going to work? See, result is empty value. It is empty value it is, right? And it is asking this, and I'll write 22 it is. It should work. But where we did the mistake? Constant is the problem there. Let me write it. Right, failed. We have given that constant means it's a fixed value, right? Always. So this passed. So we can display it like this. So we have to declare empty variable, and we can do that. Even this one you can try it. This is one more, and make a note of this one. I explained a simple method first alert, then I'm showing that in different methods. I defined a variable, empty value, and I'm giving different values here. If it is this, result value will be this one, otherwise this one, and that I'm calling it here.